that we want to get to, and that's glutathione, just recently added to the line, really 4 decades in the making. We're going to do, I think, a 3 or 4 or 5 minutes here, and then we're going to get to our last chances at our today's specials. Andrew, glutathione, I wrote this down, a critical protective molecule, and something that we should all know a little bit more about.
Yeah, and most of us who really pay attention, say with CoQ10, or say we think about vitamin C or vitamin E in these roles, we hear the word antioxidant. I'm not a big fan of the word antioxidant. I really like protective compound, because a lot of what they do is not technically the role of an antioxidant. But glutathione, back when I first started my company, it was well recognized. You could go back and find research, I would imagine, that goes back at least 70 or 80 years when they recognized glutathione inside cells. And glutathione is a molecule. It's what's called a tripeptide. It's 3 amino acids combined together. That makes it a tripeptide, 3. So that tripeptide is combined glutamic acid, the amino acid cysteine, and the amino acid glycine. So glycine, the simplest amino acid, cysteine, a very interesting, important amino acid for our hair, skin, and nails, a sulfur-containing amino acid, which allows proteins to take on a really interesting secondary and tertiary structure because of the presence of the sulfur, and then, of course, glutamic acid. But that is glutathione, and it's those 3 amino acids that gives glutathione its incredible properties. And if you look inside all of your cells, and you want to identify the one protective molecule that's involved in capturing or quenching or eradicating, whatever the word you use, free radicals or these errant electrons, these highly reactive species. There's all sorts of words that are used in the clinical studies or the scientific research. Glutathione will be at the top of your list. It's even above something called superoxide dismutase, which SOD, superoxide dismutase, we have not figured out how to deliver orally. I wish we could, but we haven't figured it out. In fact, it took a few decades, as you alluded to, for us to figure out how to deliver glutathione orally so it enhances the levels of glutathione in your cells. And we often say without CoQ10, your cells couldn't produce energy, and your cells wouldn't be alive because they can't produce energy or exist. Well, without glutathione, your cells wouldn't be able to protect themselves from the natural fallout of existence. And certainly liver cells wouldn't last probably a moment without glutathione, given the inherently challenging environment in our liver. So glutathione is the most important protective molecule on a cellular level. And of course, as we know about so many things, I can quote my dad on this one. I think it wasn't too. My dad's 90, and recently he said something to the effect of "aging sucks." So thanks, Dad.
It's true. It's true.
One of the more technically concise expressions I've ever uttered, but it does. And whether it's the levels of glutathione in our cells that suffer, or the levels of CoQ10, our ability to produce energy, our cardiac function, whatever it is, it all suffers with aging. And the quality of our aging is all going to be directly related to how well we overcome those internal changes, how gracefully we deal with those inherent changes. And glutathione is an incredibly important tool on a cellular level to protect the critical inner workings and machinery of all our cells.
Well, price-wise, 30, 60, 120, or 240 caps. If you'd like to add this to your shopping cart, remember, just do it on FlexPay. You don't have to pay the full amount. The savings you still benefit from, we're just going to take the price. In this case, for example, if it's the $119 and change, we spread it out over 4 monthly payments at no extra cost to you. So you're not penalized for doing that. And remember, at the moment, you've got a 90-day money-back guarantee. Andrew, is this something you would take once per day or more than that?
Once per day, no more is necessary. And the level we provided in our glutathione product was the level that was used in the studies that validated the difference it makes. Because, again, I had tried a lot of different glutathione products in the past, and it just didn't achieve a meaningful difference in glutathione level in the body. What good is taking a product if it doesn't deliver a benefit? The only benefit is to someone selling it, and that's not how we've ever worked. As you know, if you've followed my company for decades, there are incredibly popular products that were fraudulent, deceptive, unhealthy, that we never, ever, ever sold.
Right.
Even though folks begged me to do so because they were incredibly popular. Everyone was talking about them, and eventually they all disappeared because they were fraudulent and deceptive. So the only product we will make is one that works. So we had to wait for the clinical study, the validation, and then we validated it ourselves that you could actually enhance your glutathione levels using this ingredient.
So between glutathione and of course CoQ10, our 2 monthly specials for the month of April, certainly take advantage while they're there. And talking of taking advantage,